What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleep?
Servus from Vienna and welcome to day 23 of December Daily, and I am using Bree's prompt, which for today is give. And so for this spread I wanted to do a single page, the opposite page of the 22 one, and I wanted to make a page that would work nicely with the colors of the previous page so that it would look harmonious on both sides. So I'm starting off by using some of the scraps that I had also used on the 22 spread and just putting those together so that they would fit onto the page. Just going to, of course, ink the edges with my Distress Oxide from Ranger. I'm just going to glue those down. By the way, I cannot believe we're at day 23 and I have done this for 23 consecutive days. I must say I am quite proud of myself for keeping it up really every single day. It was quite a rough challenge at times, but I loved it so much. So if you're ever thinking about doing this in the future, please just do it. Even if it's tough, you're going to love your book at the end. So now I am cutting down this scrap piece of paper to make a pocket. And I'm just going to sew those sides on the off camera, sorry. And I'm just gonna glue that down now. And what you see here, these cutouts and the number 23 is from the current Daphne's Diary of November. I just spent last night cutting out some more things from that magazine. Thankfully they have so many lovely images and patterns there. I would love to be able to cut out more words, but unfortunately here in the shops we can only buy the German version, and I don't like using German words in my journals. Don't ask me why, I really don't know. I do have a problem with that. Yeah, so of course numbers will always work, and these numbers were actually on different pages, the 2 and the 3, and I just thought they looked very well. They worked very well together anyway. So I'm going to try to incorporate those somehow. And these little presents, you can see they were from this designer paper. And I did really want to add this lace trim, but somehow it didn't look right, so I decided at this point not to use it. And I wasn't sure yet how I was going to use those numbers either. And so I'm kind of stalling by stamping the word, wait, what was today's word? Oh, give. So I'm stamping give onto that scrap piece of paper. And this time I'm actually just cutting it out, not tearing it. And trying to place that and make that all kind of work on that pocket. Not happy with it, so I'm kind of not sure what to do next. There's just too many separate elements and I'm not digging it. So I decided to leave that for the moment and decide to use this scrap piece of paper to form a tag. Just rounded the edges, inking that up, and then punching a slit through the top to then add a ribbon. And I wanted to add those two numbers, but there was too much white showing, so I decided to just cut around those and then inking those up to make them integrate more into this tag. and I really like those big numbers. They are actually the same. It looks like they come from the same stamp as the Simon Says alpha stamps that I have. I don't have the numbers, unfortunately. I might have to get those because they are just lovely. So I'm just sticking those on in a way that you can still see them even when the tag is inside. And I plan on journaling on the back about giving, and I'm just gonna write about actually how much more I enjoy giving than receiving, especially when it comes to presents. It's such a good feeling to try to pick out the perfect present for someone you love, or better yet, to make the perfect present and to anticipate them opening the present, and the sparks in their eyes when it's actually something they really love. I mean, that is just so priceless. So here I found a nice Christmas ribbon that I had in my stash from a really long time ago, and I decided to add that on the top, and I really loved it. And then I also, I'm still playing around with these bits that I had cut out, still not really sure how to make it work. I did want to include the presents because giving, presents, Christmas kind of all work together. So now I couldn't let go yet the idea of adding this lace ribbon. So I gave it another shot, and then I said, what the hell, I'm just going to go for it. Even if it's going to cover the sewing of I did before, I still added up, I still ended up using that. But somehow that helped me to reduce the clutter on the pocket, so I got rid of the presents there, and I decided to just glue those other two elements down. Though that little twig with the berries is also from Daphne's Diary. And instead I decided to punch out a tiny tag, and first I did the background so it would have more stability, and then I decided to punch out one of those presents from this designer paper and back that, so that I could just hang that tag onto the ribbon of the bigger tag, and that way I would have my present. And so I just punched a little hole through that, and I used my red and white twine, and I was then gonna thread that through the ribbon on top, and I really liked that actually. And then it happens. You will see in a moment the catastrophe that happens. So this is all very cute, and then the ribbon wasn't tight enough, so I decided to pull on it and tighten it, and this is where it happens. It totally rips out from the tag, and I was heartbroken. But actually it's okay, because, you know, as I keep saying, there's usually a way to fix the mistakes you make. So I decide to put a tab on the top instead, and I use that same paper that I had used for the background, and I just punch out a tab, ink it up, and put it right on there, and you would never know that this mistake happened. I did really want to use that Christmas ribbon, but it didn't want to cooperate. So instead now I punch the hole through the tab, and I add a little present tab to that. And then I had the feeling that the tab was too plain, so I decided to add a tiny stamp of a twig and use my archival ink plum color for that. Really like how that turned out. And while I was at it, I also decided to add a few little stars on the top, which the tag would not cover. And then I will write the text on the back about giving. And in case you're interested, I've started using Instagram since yesterday, so I've been posting just a few photos, and I'm planning to do so pretty much every day. So if you want to check that out, just go to 49 Dragonflies. It's also in the description box. So thank you so much for watching. One more day to go. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Watch out.